Hey, what's up guys? It's Telly Tay checking in with another weekly edition of the Lowdown. Today I wanted to talk about a potentially controversial subject of, is 75mm dead? Now, 75mm has been with our sport forever, basically. Forever in modern history at least, right? So, you know, kind of the resurgence of telemark skiing in North America in the 70s was through Nordic, which was 75mm 3-pin bindings. And then kind of if you look at the progression of the history of equipment, you know, boots started getting taller, they had a little more ankle support, then they added a buckle, you know, then eventually they got to a plastic cuff on a leather bottom, and then the plastic boot came out, and then here we are today where I've still got a modern boot that was produced this year with a 75mm toe. I also still have equipment. I've got a vise from 22 Designs, I've got an axle from 22 Designs, I've got more switchbacks than what I have in stock and on the wall at the moment right now. The regular switchback, the X2, the women's switchback, the 3-pin hardwire, 3-pin cable traverse, and just a straight 3-pin from Volet. So there's still a lot of 75mm gear out there. So is it dead? No. But what I think we won't see is new things for 75mm. Now, some of you 75mm diehards may be, you know, taken back a bit by that statement, but I think, you know, in the future, as we look at how telemark products have been developed in the last 5 years even, we're seeing that shift towards ditching the duckbill and going to the duck butt, as the slang for the NTN second heel says. Now, let me just put this scenario into our heads of, if you walk into our shop or give us a call on the phone and you say, I need new telemark boots. Now, we are going to start that conversation of, is it time to make that transition to the NTN platform? We're going to ask you a lot of questions, what you do it for, where you like to ski, how many other skis do you own that would work with 75mm bindings, you know, have you tried an NTN system, demoed it, maybe didn't like it, didn't really do what you were looking for as a telemark skier. That's okay. Like, I will still sell you a T1, a T2, T4 even, a Synergy from Scott, a 75mm Voodoo from Scott. So that's okay. 75 is not dead. We're just not seeing anything new. So the next wave of equipment, whether it's boots or bindings, that compatibility is going to be with NTN. So that's when we're looking at that, you know, do I need new telemark boots question, is we're starting to look at, okay, if I buy a Scarpa TX Pro this year, and then, you know, obviously I got to get a binding that's going to match it, but if I bought a new pair of T1s this year, and then next year some cool new binding came out that you looked at that binding and said, yeah, that's the one for me. Well, it's probably going to work with the NTN boot. So does that mean next year you're going to buy another pair of boots? Maybe, but if you buy a TX Pro now, that's kind of like future proofing in the sense of, you know, if you buy this boot now and Outlaw 2.0 or Lynx 2.0 or Mejo 4.0 or Freeride 2.0 or whatever they call it, right? It's going to be compatible with that. So it's like, okay, that boot purchase, that's probably the most expensive part of the equation, probably going to last us several years, 5 years, 10 years even, maybe even longer. I mean, some of us get a really comfortable pair of boots and we don't upgrade very often. So it's like we're to the point where if it's time to upgrade and get something new, I need to think, when's the next time am I going to upgrade? So with new product, is 75mm dead? No, they still exist, but again, just not seeing anything new for the 75mm platform. And the other thing too is there's obviously all this history with 75mm. So, we might have a pair of old K2 Super Stinks with G3 Targas on them that, we love for those spring bump days or something. And, I think it's okay to have a 75mm setup for that, but it's getting more challenging to repair and replace some of the older 75mm gear, right? If you have one of these and you break something on those two bindings, well, I got a parts room behind you in our shop here that I can pretty much replace everything on that binding. If you got another binding that is no longer made anymore, a Black Diamond 01, a G3 Targa, and you call me looking for parts, I mean, we might be able to dig through some, piles of parts in the back, but it's not looking too good. So we got to keep that in mind. And I will also put this final statement in your head. I am an NTN skier most of the winter. I was a 75mm skier from age 8 until age about 21. I didn't get rid of my 75mm gear. I still got a pair of these, and I still got a pair of Scarpa T race boots, and I also have leather boots that are older than I am. So 75mm is still part of my Telemark equation. It's just not my everyday setup at this point. So if you guys got comments or questions about stuff, I'd love to hear the comments. I know there's some 75mm diehards that aren't gonna like to hear that, but I didn't call it dead. I just said there's nothing new coming. So as always, if you like what we're doing, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, comment. We love all that stuff. We love interacting with you guys on here. The Freeheel Life shop is here in Salt Lake City. We got all your Telemark needs taken care of. Social media at Freeheel Life, freeheellife.com, customer service at Freeheel Life for emails. You can get a hold of us. We'd love to help you out. Love to help upgrade you or just repair something. Or if you just want to pick up a hat and support our sweet logo, we'd love that too. I'll see you next time. Go enjoy some powder turns.